Now, athletes from Cavan and Monaghan returned home from the Special Olympics Ireland Games this week with over 20 medals. Competing as Special Olympics Team Ulster at the weekend, local athletes won medals in swimming, table tennis, soccer, 10-pin bowling, athletics, badminton, kayaking and bocce. The athletes were supported by family and volunteers who cheered them on as they competed and took home a variety of gold, silver and bronze medals, as well as ribbons. Well, joining me now in studio is Margaret McElroy, who is a volunteer, and she is here with her daughter Claire as well, who was a bit of a star at the show. So hello and thank you for joining me in the studio.
Hello Caroline, how are you doing?
Very good. Now, a massive success there, as I've just outlined. So everybody returning with over 20 medals for the local region. So just tell me a little bit more about what happened over that weekend and what a great success it was.
Well, from Monaghan Special Olympics Club we had 16 athletes. There was 2 from Ergiltrue Special Needs Centre and 3 athletes competing with Drumlin House, or who train with Drumlin House, who are actually from Monaghan. And I travelled along as a chaperone at the swimming team, but there was 6 in total travelled from Monaghan. So we travelled, we went down on the Thursday. Opening ceremonies were on Thursday night and they were just spectacular altogether. And then Friday was division day, where everybody did their particular sport, as I called it, a practice. But it was just to be sure that, say, for the likes of swimming, that the swimming times that were entered were accurate enough, and then the times could be changed upwards or downwards, and the athlete changed maybe in divisions. So then competition then was Saturday and Sunday. So the competition was very high now, so it was. So we were competing against the 4 other regions, Connacht, Munster, Leinster and the Eastern region. And the competition was very high. So any of the athletes that won medals, they really deserved to win them, because they really... They would have all got personal bests in all the sports that they've done, so it was a great achievement.
You feel like the standard's going up every year then as well, and there's becoming more of a buzz around the event every year, I suppose, as well.
Oh, the standard is very high. The good thing about Special Olympics is there's... the motto is there's a place for everyone, and so there is. Everybody is graded on ability, and there's different divisions. So that's what Friday was all about, that if you weren't entered in the right division from your region, that you could either be moved up division or down division. So it gives the weaker athletes a great chance of winning medals.
That's good to know. So it's every effort is made to make sure everybody's in the right categories and they're going for the right thing, because obviously success is great, but if you're losing out in these things as well, it can be a bit of a hit, especially if you don't feel like it was the correct category or whatever.
Yeah, even in the football teams, they're divisioned as well. On the Friday, say there were 3 teams from Ulster went, and on the Friday, say the weakest team would have been playing maybe the strongest team from Leinster, just to be sure that all the athletes on that team were graded properly from the local region. And then the playoffs then were Saturday and Sunday then again for them.
So an exciting time then, and obviously you were there as a volunteer, but you were also there as a mother, so that was a big role you were playing, and you were there with Claire, and Claire's here as well. Claire, you had some great success, I believe.
Yeah.
And you are sitting there adorned with medals, so you can probably hear them clinking away there. So you got 3 medals. So tell me what you got the medals in.
In gold, I got a breaststroke and a bag and a relay.
Yeah, she got gold for the 50-metre back crawl. Gold for the 50-metre breaststroke, silver for the 50-metre back crawl, and she got silver then as well in the 4x50-metre freestyle.
Gosh, so you're very into your swimming then. So, was it hard preparing for this, Claire?
No, not too bad.
Not too bad. I suppose when you enjoy it, it's not like hard work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. The athletes in all sports all had 7 training sessions with Team Ulster. Most of ours were in Antrim and Lisburn training sessions over the winter months. So as well as training with the local club, they were training with Team Ulster to get to know all the other athletes from Ulster and the other coaches as well.
Yeah, so there's a real social aspect as well there then. Obviously if they're travelling around and they're meeting people from all across the country, from the different provinces, that's great for self-esteem and things.
Oh, absolutely, it is. And a lot of the athletes that travelled with us were travelling for the first time away from their families, and the only contact they had with the family was at the sport. But once the bus came to take us back to our accommodation, they were with the coaches and chaperones from 5 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock the next morning, and they all coped extremely well and were all very independent, and it's a credit to all the families. But it's great for their self-development as well as sport and development.
Yeah. And Claire, did you meet lots of nice people there, or did you meet people that you've seen a few times now and maybe you're getting to know?
Yeah, very nice people.
Yeah, it seemed like it from everything I saw on, Facebook and things. It seems like everybody was big smiling faces, lots of people getting along. And of course, it was very important for the parents as well. And I saw some videos where, the parents were taking videos and they looked like they were welling up. It must be a very emotional thing to watch.
Oh, it's very emotional, very emotional. You have the highs and the lows, and you're just there. And even, say, even when Claire won her breaststroke, she did it in her best time ever. And you're sitting there, even me, there with the team. I didn't even know whether she'd actually won her gold or not until it's actually up on the board. Because again, everything's very technical. The stroke judges are there to make sure that they hit the wall properly, and then the other thing is timing as well. If they're not entered at the correct time, or if they swim 15% too fast, they're disqualified. So until the medal's around the neck, you're not even 100% sure. It's the same in athletics and all other sports as well. But, it's...
Yeah, and the judging is very specific, and they really do look at everything. It's very technical. There's nobody's getting an easy ride in this.
Oh, absolutely not. No, definitely not. And there was young ones there, and... they would have maybe come in first and thought they'd won the race and then just get a participation ribbon. There's no mercy shown when it actually comes to national medals. You win, you rightly win your national medal.
And whenever this compares to other years, this is a lot of medals, I believe, for the local region to get. Is that right?
Well, we had 16 athletes selected this year to go to the national games. That would have been the most that we would ever have had selected. So.
Very good. So it just shows that, and I mean, there's a lot of supports locally for people going forward for the Special Olympics. That's probably only getting better as time goes on, and people learn what skills need to be really looked at, what other kind of nurturing they need.
Oh yes, even ourselves, as parents and coaches, we know what's expected, and you just have to try and achieve that, and it's great. We really do have great support, fantastic volunteers in the club, and without the volunteers the club just wouldn't run at all. So it's fantastic. And again, the support of the local community is just fantastic. Obviously there's a huge cost in sending the athletes to the national games, and Ulster, or not even Ulster, but just national Special Olympics, they put out the cost, but they don't think of how it's actually going to be paid. So I must say, in Monaghan now, we would have got all our athletes sponsored from the local companies, and any company we approached were more than happy to sponsor the athletes, and without their help, just the athletes, I suppose it would have been a struggle for the club to have sent them.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously it's paid off for them. They're going to see, they've obviously helped you out, and you've got the return. Claire, what are you going to do with your medals now? You're sitting there with them round your neck. What do you do with them now? Are you going to wear them as much as possible?
Yeah.
Wherever you can, you're going to wear those medals, and they're lovely glittering medals around your neck, and I'm sure it's been fun showing them off to all your friends as well.
Yes.
And also with the Special Olympics, it's not all just about the sport as well. There's a sort of social side. I believe there was some discos and things like that happening as well.
Oh, the disco on the Saturday nights are always the highlight of the weekend. And on the Friday night, Claire went to a cinema. One of the lecture rooms in DCU was done up as a cinema, and they had the movie on Friday night, and then the disco on Saturday night. But there was other things going on as well. There was, for the younger ones especially, they went to a Tai Chi class. For the less able ones and those who absolutely love art, there was an art class going on at night time. A few of our lads love football, and the World Cup, I believe, is on at the minute. I don't follow it myself, but they went away off, and there was a television set up, and they were watching their football. So yeah, there's something for everybody at night time as well, and it's all part of the the
So
whole
everybody's
occasion.
taken into consideration, and that, of course,
Yeah.
is something that the parents, do they get involved with that part of it as well?
No. As I
they're kept
said,
out.
once 5 o'clock comes and the athletes leave their sporting venue, they're back to the accommodation. We were all staying in DCU campus accommodation.
Oh, right.
And no, that's just the athletes and the coaches and chaperones. That's all.
That's great. So a real sense of independence there with all of that.
Oh, fantastic. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, very good. It sounds amazing, and I'll have to leave it there. I think you wanted to thank some of the sponsors there, did you?
Yes, just thank the sponsors very much, and we really appreciated them sponsoring us, and only for their sponsorship it just would have been a struggle for the club to have sent the athletes, and we're just thrilled to bits that we have such good companies around Monaghan.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations, Claire. Congratulations with your medals, and hopefully you get to wear them as much as possible and they don't get locked away in a cabinet. But thank you for joining me today in studio.
Yeah, thanks very much, Caroline. Thank you.
Well, that was one of our local Special Olympics winners sitting here with me with 3 medals round her neck, and Margaret McElroy, who is a volunteer and Claire's mother, and they're just talking to us a little bit more about the Special Olympics success at the weekend. So over 20 medals for the local region.